It's before dawn. January 30th. London is frozen silent. Inside Whitehall Palace, a man wakes in darkness. He's slept badly. Perhaps not at all. He dresses slowly. 2 shirts. He doesn't want to shiver. Doesn't want anyone to think he's afraid. Outside, carpenters have been working through the night. Hammering. Building something in the street. The sound echoes through empty lanes. No one speaks about what it's for. Soldiers stand at every corner, their breath clouds in the cold. They watch the windows. They watch each other. The man puts on his warmest cloak. He asks for his dog to be taken away. He doesn't say why. Perhaps he knows the animal would sense what's coming. Across the city, thousands are waking, dressing in silence, moving toward the same place, not celebrating, not protesting, just coming. Because something is about to happen that has never happened before. Something that once done cannot be undone. In a few hours, the man in 2 shirts will walk outside, and England will cut off its own head. Understand something. In 1649, a king isn't just a man. He is God's chosen representative, anointed, sacred. His authority doesn't come from people or parliaments. It comes from heaven itself. To resist a king is to resist God. To kill one is unthinkable, a sin so profound it tears the fabric of the universe. And yet, on this frozen morning, that's exactly what's about to happen. Charles I, King of England, Scotland and Ireland, he will die today, not in battle, not by accident, but by trial, by verdict, by public execution. His own people are going to kill him. This isn't just shocking, it's apocalyptic. The world knows assassinations in dark hallways, quiet murders behind closed doors. Power changes hands through whispers and blades in the night. But this is different. This is daylight. This is law. This is England looking at its king and saying, "You have been judged, and for your crimes, you will die like any other man." The very idea makes Europe recoil in horror. But London has been living with horror for nearly a decade. Charles believed in his divine right completely, without question. God made him king. Therefore, he could not be wrong. Parliament saw things differently. They wanted consultation, a say in how England was governed. They believed the king ruled with them, not over them. Charles believed they were subjects, nothing more. That pride became a chasm. The chasm became suspicion. Suspicion became fear. Fear became war. By 1642, England was fighting itself. King against Parliament, brother against brother. Villages torn in half, fields turned to graves. Charles kept thinking he'd win, that his divine right would prevail simply because it always had. He made deals, then broke them, played faction against faction, certain his cleverness would save him. It didn't. By 1649, he'd lost everything, his armies, his credibility, his freedom, but he still had one thing, his title. And Parliament realized something chilling. As long as Charles lived as king, the war would never end. Loyalists would rally, foreign powers would intervene. The fighting would continue. The only way to truly end this was to do the unthinkable. Put the king on trial, convict him as a tyrant, and execute him. Most of Parliament couldn't stomach it. Many refused to participate. Some fled the country, but enough remained. Enough to sign a death warrant. 59 men put their names on that document. 59 men decided a king could die. The city doesn't know how to feel. In taverns, men speak in whispers. If the king dies, who rules? Parliament? The army? Chaos? Merchants worry. Will trade collapse? Will foreign nations turn on England? Will God himself curse the land? The soldiers stand firm. Cromwell's new model army. They fought for this, bled for it. They believe tyranny must end, no matter who wears the crown. But even they feel the weight of it. This isn't just a man dying. This is the old world dying. The streets leading to Whitehall fill slowly. Thousands come, but they don't cheer. They don't jeer. They just stand, watching. Witnesses to something none of them will ever forget. The scaffold has been draped in black. It stands in front of the banqueting house, where Charles once hosted masques and feasts, where he celebrated his divine right in silk and candlelight. Now it's his stage for something else entirely. Charles walks out. He's wearing those two shirts. His hair is carefully combed. He looks composed. He's spent days preparing for this, rehearsing, praying. He's decided how he'll be remembered, not as a tyrant, as a martyr. He speaks briefly. His voice is calm. He insists he's innocent, that he fought for his people's freedoms, not against them, that his death is murder, not justice. The crowd can barely hear him. The scaffold is surrounded by soldiers, pushing people back. His words drift into the cold air, half lost. He forgives his executioners. He prays. He removes his cloak, tucks his hair beneath a cap so his neck is bare. Then he kneels. There's a stillness. The executioner hesitates, just for a breath. Then the axe falls. One blow. The crowd gasps. Not a cheer, not a roar, a gasp, a collective intake of breath, as if England itself has been struck. Someone shouts, "Remember!" But most stand frozen. The executioner lifts the severed head. Traditionally, he'd proclaim, "Behold the head of a traitor." But his voice shakes. The words feel hollow. Because everyone knows. This isn't a traitor's death. This is the death of certainty itself. The crowd disperses slowly. No one knows what to do. Some weep, some stare, some walk away as if in a trance. England has no king. For the first time in 1,000 years, the throne is empty. Not waiting for an heir. Not in transition. Just empty. Parliament declares a commonwealth. A republic. They claim to rule in the people's name. But the machinery of power grinds uncertainly. Without a king, who decides? Who commands? Cromwell will try. He'll become Lord Protector, effectively a king without the crown. But even he can't make it work. Within 11 years, the monarchy will return. But it will never be the same. Charles's son will take the throne. Charles II. But he'll rule knowing what his father forgot. A crown is not a shield. Divine right is not invincible. A king who forgets his people can lose everything. January 30th, 1649 taught England something it would never unlearn. Power is not given by God alone. It is granted. It is conditional. It can be withdrawn. For centuries, authority was unquestionable. Kings ruled because that's how the world worked. To challenge them was madness. But in front of the banqueting house, with an axe and a scaffold, England asked a new question. What if power belongs to the people? What if rulers can be held accountable? What if no one is above judgment? That question didn't die with Charles. It spread to France, to America, to revolutions and constitutions and democracies around the world. The execution of Charles I wasn't just an ending. It was a beginning, a crack in the old order, a tremor that would grow into an earthquake. And it started on a frozen January morning in London, with a man in two shirts and a silence that echoed across centuries.